Welcome to Appointy Tutorials. In this video we're going to talk about settings. Now the setting has a lot of features, and this is where you would control your entire account from. This is also where you would control how the customers see the customer interface. So I will be covering a part of settings in this video, and then there will be other parts that would cover different settings. So to begin with, the first tab, as soon as you click on settings, would be pre-selected, and that's the staff tab. Now staff members could be people, places or things with whom customers can book appointment. So for example, if you are a spa or a salon, the staff members would be the people who would be providing those services. Let's say for example you have a tennis coaching camp. In that scenario you would have the tennis courts as staff members. Let's say for example you have a car wash business, that in that scenario the car washing bays would then become the staff members. So the basic logic behind staff is it would be the entity with whom the customer is booking the appointment, and the service would be the type of appointment that the customers are booking. As you can already see, I have added 2 staff members, but if you want to add more staff members, you can click on the add staff member button on the top right corner, type in the name of the staff member, then type in a mobile number. Now you can have a random number over here if you don't want to give out the staff's number, and then put in the email. Now this email is important because the staff member would get email notifications of appointments booked with him on this particular email. In a scenario where you don't want the staff members to get an email, you can put in a dummy email address, and the last step would be to put in a description. Now the description is optional, and is the purpose of the description is to let the customers know what kind of capabilities that staff member has. So in a scenario where the staff member is a person, you can tell the customers, that he has experience and he is one of the best staff members, and what are his traits. In a scenario where it's a room and you want to give a description, you can mention the dimensions of the room and whether it's carpeted, air conditioned, so on and so forth. Now again, there is a limit of description, and that is up to 1,000 characters. So let me add the staff member. Now as soon as you add the staff member, you will see them in the list. Then the next step would be to add availability or link the staff member to a service. So by clicking on the name or the email or any area which is nearby, you can open the staff details. Over here you can edit the staff credentials. So let's say for example you made a mistake or a typo in the email or the phone number, or you want to change something in the description or name of the staff member, you can do that over here. The button to the right of edit is to delete a staff member. Now once again, if you're deleting a staff member, that would also delete all the appointments that are booked with that particular staff member. So make sure if you're deleting a staff member, you don't require any of his appointments, future, past and present, and you don't want any records there. So just be sure before deleting a staff or a service. Now on this page you would see these details like the staff description. The next one is active, which means that the customers can book appointments with him. If you deactivate this staff member, he would be removed from the list. As you can see on the left side, now the staff member is not there on the list anymore. Once again, if you want the staff member to be active and people can book appointments with him, just change it to yes. The second option is internal staff member. Now if you enable this, you would still be able to see the staff in the list, but the customers would not be able to book appointments with him. This feature has the purpose of making the staff available for internal purposes only. That means the administrator, other staff members, the manager would be able to book appointments and the staff member himself, if you enable login, he would be able to log in and book appointments with himself, and the customers would not be able to book appointments with this staff. The next one is login allowed. Now, we do provide a feature where the staff members get, or you can generate a login credential for them so they can log into the mobile app or the website and see the appointments booked with them. They can then cancel or reschedule those appointments or book future appointments. Also, they would be able to block their time, change their schedule and availability, and so on and so forth. So I will enable login. As soon as you enable login, the system is going to ask you to create a password and a username for this particular staff member. Then the system is going to ask you to confirm the same appointment, same password. Now, if you'd like the staff member to change the password as soon as they log in, you can check this box. If not, you can let it be. Once you've created the password and the username, just click on save. Now, this staff member would be able to log in. As I have not made him a manager, the staff member would be able to see only the appointments with himself and book appointments, reschedule those appointments, and cancel those appointments. Then you have the option to edit the login details. So if you click on login, it's going to ask you to change the username and change the password. So in a scenario where the staff member has forgotten their password, they can still ask the administrator to reset the password for them. They can reset the password themselves by clicking on forgot password. They will get an email asking them to create a new password. The one below this is the booking URL. Now, each staff member and each service have their own particular URL as well. So if you copy and paste this URL or give it to a customer, when they open this link or when they go to this link, the staff member would be pre-selected. So the customer would see the services that this staff member is performing only. They would not see any other staff members availability, and they would not see any other service that's linked to any other staff member. Then we have email verification. So it tells you that the email is not verified, so you can click on send email, and what this would do is it would send a verification email to the staff member. Now this is very important because if you do not verify the email, the staff member might not get notifications of the appointments. The next tab on the top is availability. So as I mentioned earlier, the availability is the place where you would link the staff member to the services. We have two different types of availability, regular and irregular. Regular availability would repeat itself automatically week by week. So if I put in a time for Monday, let's say for example from 12 noon till 8 in the evening, and I click on update, now this staff member is going to be available for this service for every Monday up till January 2070. Now we can create multiple schedules, but I'll cover that when I'm covering the business hours. The next one is the irregular tab. So this tab gives you the ability to open irregular hours, which means that these hours would not repeat themselves, and these hours are date specific. So unless you want these hours to be repeated, you can set a limit. So let me just click on the plus sign. So it asks me again for a start time and an end time. Then you have a start date. So the 13th of October is the only date when these hours are going to be opened. If I click on the start date, it's going to open up a calendar. I can then choose multiple dates, and these would be the only dates that this appointment time is going to be open for the customers. Below that you see it says all services. So in a scenario where you have multiple services, you can choose which service you want to link this staff member to. Then we have this time will be opened irrespective of staff availability in the future. What this basically means, if you want to open the staff's availability irrespective of whether he's blocked that time or not, you can check this box. If the customers have booked an appointment, so let's say for example from 12 p.m. till 8 p.m. on these following dates, this staff member is all booked, this availability feature would not work. This works only in the scenario where the staff member or the administrator has blocked the availability. Then we have repeat for other staff members. So if you want to repeat the same availability for other staff members, you can select them one by one. You can click on select all. You can click on deselect all. So you can choose which staff member has the same availability. Once you've decided that, just click on add and the system will add those availability. Now in a scenario where you've repeated the business hours for multiple weeks and you want to see the availability, you click on the list view. The list view is going to show you only the availability set in the irregular hours. As you can see, I have set irregular hours for October 13th, 14th, 15th and 16th, the service name and the hours. In the regular hours, you can do the same thing. So when you click on the pencil icon, you can select a day, you can put in a time, and you can then select different services. Now in this scenario I have only one service, so if you have multiple services you would be able to see all the services. Again, you can select all, deselect all, or you can check the boxes. Once you've selected the desired services, just click on done and it'll mention all services. Then you also have repeat for other staff members. So if you want to repeat the same availability for other staff members, again just click on that particular staff. You can also select all, and we do have a search staff button. So if you have a list of staff members, let's say 25-30 staff members, and you don't want to scroll down, you can search for that particular staff member. So if I type in demo, it's going to pull up the demo staff. Okay, so click on done, then I click on update. Now we have the availability set. Then we have the block time. So you can block availability for particular dates. That means the availability is going to be blocked for the entire day. You can block certain times of the day, and you can block so you can synchronize the staff members account with their Google calendars, and they can then block their schedule on Google and it will reflect on Appointy. So if I want to click on block more, it's going to ask me the dates that I want to block. So I can select multiple dates, I can select a reason, and if I want to select more than one staff member, just click on the staff button over here, and then I can select the staff members. Once I select the ones that I want, I click on done, I click on add. Now these dates are blocked for all the staff members. The same thing goes with the time of date. Again, I click on block more, I choose a time, and then I select a date. Now in this scenario where you're blocking a time, you can choose only one date at a time. So it's beneficial that you integrate your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar with Appointy. That way you can block multiple days on those calendars and that will reflect on Appointy. So let's click on add. So we have a particular time blocked on Appointy. In the calendar tab, as of now I have not synchronized my Google Calendar, but if I had, I would see the list of all the events on Google Calendar blocking the time on Appointy. So this is where you would see the calendar events. So I've gone ahead and I've added a calendar event. This is how it would look. So it will tell me the date, the block time, and the actual time that's going to be blocked. Okay, so that's how it's going to look. Then we have the postal code feature. Now this feature works in scenarios where you have businesses that go door to door to provide services. So for example, if a business is like a carpet cleaning business where the staff members would go to the customer's residence or offices to clean the carpets, you and let's say for example you have multiple staff members, but each staff member works in a separate area code. So let's say for example you've got a certain staff member that handles all the northern appointments, then you have a staff member that handles all the eastern appointments. So what you would then do in this scenario is you would add the postal codes of those particular areas. So that's how it's going to look like. So you would click on yes. So show area codes on customer interface, you click on yes, and then you select the codes from the list. Now if you want to add more codes, there is a settings tab over here that says area code. So here is where you would add all the codes, and to link the code to a particular staff member, you can do it from the area codes tab as well, but if you want to do it from the staff tab, you can do it over here. Once you've made the changes, just click on save, and the staff member is gonna show these two area codes when they book an appointment. So the first step that the customer would see would be to select an area code, and then depending on his area code or the area code that he's typed in, he would be then shown the staff members. Then we have services. So you can click on add new, so it'll give you the list of all the services that are there. You can then select that particular service over here and then click on save. So this particular service is now linked to this staff member. You can then click on it, expand all, edit, search for a service. But what I would personally suggest is to go to the service tab and add availability over there, or click on availability in the staff tab, and then you would see all the services. So that's it for the staff tab. See you in the next one.